quickly, we want to round up with this story, which. Sorry, I'm breathing in so I can prepare for dragging. Yes, the Lagos state government announced that they were going to be launching electric buses in Lagos. All right. So, I mean, I guess because they made an amendment in the federal government that, states cannot generate their own power or something. Is that like the thinking behind this? But no, let me not preempt you. Go on, please.
Okay, all right, yeah. So, if you are on Twitter often, I'm sure you'll have seen the Lagos State Governor announcing that is so like the first set of electric buses are now in Lagos, part of their mass transit, their super mass transit program. So the buses, they gave us some stats, right, about the buses. So on a full charge, they can keep walking for around 280 kilometers. They also, because they're electric buses, there's no fumes, there's no environmental this and that.
Kilometers, convert that to traffic.
All right. So when you think about it, right, I tried to do a calculation last night, and that's like going from Bega to Tafawa Balewa Square 8 or 9 times. Like go come.
Tafawa Balewa Square.
Go alone. Like keep going. Yes. Around 8 times.
8 times.
Yes.
With no traffic. I mean,
with no traffic. That's with no. Like when you think about it, that means you have to somehow approximate for traffic with that.
So how many hours
number.
are we talking about? I mean, the distance may not be clear. How many hours are we talking about?
Okay, so let's say it will take you. Let's say it will take you around without traffic, right? You are going from Bega to Tafawa Balewa Square. Let's say it will take you an hour.
Take me an hour.
That's 8 hours. That means the bus
on full charge, you can do
on
8
a full
hours.
charge, it can continue working without dying for around 8 hours.
So that means,
Right.
give or take, the bus should be able to do 2 trips, like two trips every day.
Yes, and they said the normal BRT buses that we have, the one that uses fossil fuel, they do on a daily basis. The all travel they do is usually no more than 200 kilometers an hour, right? Yeah. So, and they've also, and when you talk about EVs, something that comes to people's mind is no lights. How do you want to charge? So they've partnered with Orlando, right? So
Is
said
that, is
Orlando.
Is it Orlando?
Orlando.
Oh, please, somebody help me out.
I've heard everything from O&O to Orlando. I don't even know.
I don't know.
You are saying Orlando, I mean Orlando.
Orlando.
Or is it Orlando?
We'll be
Or
fine.
Orlando.
All right, so it's the clean energy subsection of the Orlando, whichever one. So they are the ones that will be providing the charging stations and everything. But then, they've given up the fact, like, okay, that means you can stay on the road for long. Okay, that means we would not have to worry about charging. But there are still some things to worry about, right? And that is when you use electric vehicles, right? I mean, when you did your interview with Tolu Williams, the founder of SealTech, he said he had to make a lot of modifications. He saw something outside the country, he liked it, wanted to replicate it here, but he realized he has to make a lot of modifications, right? And the reason why is even the users themselves, the way Nigerians use things is different from the way someone in the UK or someone in China will use it, right? So you need to put that into consideration. You also need to put roads into consideration. EVs are electric cars, right? Normally, cars don't like to enter flood. But when EVs enter flood, it's worse, right? It's because they're electric. They use electric motors, right? And electric and water, they don't go together. Another thing to worry about is the weather, right? Yes, you might have 280 kilometers range. But then, Lagos can be hotter than some parts of the world, right? And when there's a lot of heat, your 280-kilometer range might fall to like 190. That's because, I mean, even with your phone, you notice that when you use your phone, maybe you play really heavy games and your phone gets hot. You notice your battery drains a lot faster than how it will drain. Maybe you say you're just on Twitter or something. So Nigeria is, I mean, Africa in general, or say Sub-Saharan Africa, it's a hot place, right? So you need to put all these things into consideration. And I also noticed that Owando themselves, they had like this, like a report they did one time where they were talking about if Nigeria is like ready for EVs. And from what I saw, they were basically saying no. Because when you look at electricity, like, we don't really have electricity, right? That means it will take a lot, right? It will take a lot for you to create this infrastructure for EVs in Nigeria. So I'm thinking, if Orlando does this, I don't know what the partnership is like. I don't know what the give and take is like. But from what they are saying, the amount of investment they will need to do for this infrastructure, well, let's say it's just the buses. It's not as if everybody in Lagos start using EVs, but it still cost a lot. So would they really be willing to do enough that all these buses will be charged, and then by the time you go to the bus stop, you'll be able to use them, right? So another thing we need to think about is before we start, bashing and analysis and all that, they said there will be a pilot scheme, right? It's not as if we have electric cars, so yeah, come and enter, let's take it. There'll be a pilot scheme where they will test things out, where they will know, okay, can this work? Can this not work? What do we need to change? Right. So that's like a disclaimer.
No, you address some of my concern. I'm not going to bash because they said I don't have time again. But it's fine. But well, when you were talking about flood, the image that entered my head was that BRT bus in Lekki that people had to be bailing water out of.
I mean, things like that.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, but let's leave it there. I think my only beef is they didn't partner with a local EV manufacturer.
Yes, and
I'm not even dwelling.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not dwelling. That is my only beef.
All right.
Did they partner?
No, they did not.
Good. So if there's anything that we should know,
a Chinese car maker.
Yutong, yes. A Chinese car maker. Okay, it's fine. Do we have EV manufacturers in Nigeria?
Yes, but do they manufacture those kinds?
If you give them
at that level,
if you tell them to make it, they will make it. But let's leave the shalaye for another day.